Hi, my name is Brian Croft, and for many years now I've been painting the history of Vancouver and British Columbia. From Vancouver's beaches to the BC Electric streetcars passing woodwards to Vancouver Bus Depot in this 1939 scene, and also Vancouver's amazing nightlife. As you can see here in Theatre Row, Granville Street, 1962, I spare no detail. However, my historical paintings have their origin in the Fraser Valley, in watercolors like this Murrayville garage scene and this painting of Langley's Berry Farm in the early days. In recent years, I have painted major works of the Fraser Valley, such as Langley Prairie 1928 and Chilliwack in 1915. But now I'd like to show you the details behind my painting of Abbotsford in 1922. In the 20s, Abbotsford was served by no less than 4 railways, which bracketed the center of the small town on Essendine Road. Working with the Reach, Abbotsford's museum and archive staff, photographs of early Abbotsford were examined. Many of the photos appear to have been taken from the vantage point of a water tower that used to stand on a hill on the east end of Essendine. But attempts to repeat these shots today are not very useful. So much has changed, and going to the water tower location doesn't do much either, for obvious reasons. Eventually, though, 3 photos were found at the Vancouver archives that were stitched successfully together and produced a stunning 1920 panorama of this town. This formed the basis of the painting. To understand the painting, a layout map helps, and the blue arrow that you'll see here is the location of the water tower itself, and you're looking towards the west. The first railway was a CPR railway in 1891, highlighted in green, and it ran from Mission south to the United States. The CPR main station seen here on Railway Street just before its removal in 1953 was a classic CPR design, made it very straightforward when I inserted it into the scene. Importantly, Abbotsford had a lake, and it was just a short distance away and was ideal for storing logs, and thus it quickly hosted a lumber mill. A small 3-mile-long railway, seen here in yellow, was built to connect the mill to the CPR line. By 1922, the mill was reorganized as the Abbotsford Lumber Mining and Development Company, and it operated 2 Climax engines. Number 2 is painted into the painting, crossing Essendine on its way to the lake. In 1908, the Victoria, Vancouver and Eastern Railway, backed by the Great Northern and depicted here in turquoise, commenced service up the Fraser Valley to Abbotsford. The GN station, with the name Abbotsford curiously misspelled, and its water tower were prominent features of the local landscape, and they appear here in my painting behind the CPR station. In 1910, the final railway was added, shown here in red. This was the BC Electric Railway Fraser Valley Interurban Service. I painted the BC Electric's 2:26 p.m. westbound interurban crossing Essendine as it pulls into the Abbotsford Depot on the far right of the painting. And the early 20s were prosperous years, and this is reflected in the development of the town. The Abbotsford Hotel, for example, had just been updated and expanded. I had adjusted the date of the painting to 1922 because I wanted to include the cenotaph, which was erected that year in the middle of Essendine, just west of the CPR line. Also in that year, a new theatre was built on Oscar Street. Beside a short row of restaurants and rooming homes, it created a tiny entertainment district. During the final review of the painting with the Reach's archive staff, a number of very careful additions were made. A fairly major correction was prompted by my longtime friend, author, and historian Henry Ewart, who, in consultation with other experts, provided the information which added a GN caboose and an authentic GN corporate color chart to them. And so it was my original green train became a red one. The village of Abbotsford lay in a low catchment, which in the spring of 1922 would see runoff pour down Essendine to the lake, as it was jokingly called, just outside B.B. Smith's Pioneer Store. The painting is rendered as a sunny spring afternoon, and everywhere you look you'll find tiny details. Outside the livery at Essendine and Cyril, a father and daughter converse. A mother and child play in their backyard near the BC Electric Depot, and 2 ladies peel potatoes behind Coogan's tailor shop. I even included a few tiny brushstrokes near the horizon to depict the Sikh Gurdwara built in 1911. And everywhere you look, Abbotsford radiates warmly in the afternoon sun. I hope you've enjoyed this brief tour of my painting, Abbotsford 1922, It's been a great pleasure to introduce just a little of the background detail to you. If you'd like to see more of my paintings, you can find me at my website, briancroft.com. See you there.